Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan of the Chart Guys checking in after a very bullish reaction to Powell and the FOMC, a bullish reaction to Meta after hours. They're announcing a 40 billion share buyback. So all bulls today. Michael Burry deleting his Twitter account after saying sell earlier today. But all that said, I'm going to put on my bear glasses just to be watching things that we need to be keeping an eye on. Bulls have full control. Burden of proof is on the bears. We are clearly shifting from fear to FOMO, but there are some things that I am still watching bigger picture. So looking at the futures chart, I'm going to use ES and NQ right now, which are the real futures charts. Normally I use SPX 500 USD, and that's just because that's the free version, whereas these versions you have to pay for the data. So I wanted to make it accessible for everybody, but we have a clear double top of resistance that's being tested on the S&P 500 futures, ES, and that still has not broken. So win for the bulls, high of the week, daily EMA 12 keeps holding the higher lows on the brief pullbacks of consolidation that we see, and this key resistance is still in play. We got a lot of space for an hourly higher low. We had an initial bearish reaction, broke the low of the day, no follow through, and then bulls just took over from there. So key resistance still in play. And again, it's a double top, 41.75, 41.80. And here we are, the high of today, 41.63. So bulls still have to break that level. And then once they do, if they do, we're then looking at the August high as a key resistance level. And if you look at the EMAs here on the weekly time frame, we're on the verge where we're getting the first bull cross since all-time highs. So we are currently all-time high distance, let's say. All-time high, 16.1% away. Fear low, 15.4% away. So we are right in the middle, and the bulls just need one more leg up. So what would be a bear scenario? I'll tell you in a minute. NASDAQ bull break. NQ, the futures chart. So weekly uptrend is confirmed, and now we're looking at one resistance level here. Let's just go to QQQ so we have these numbers in line. 309.78 is resistance, and then 333.02 is a key level from here. We are in a weekly stair-step pattern. The daily RSI is close to overbought. Technically speaking, this is a back burner because we're coming from a bear market, and last time we had daily RSI hitting right up around 70, that's where we topped out. So again, there are plenty of things that have me cautious, but definitely bullish until the bears give me a reason not to be bullish. And so the things that I'm cautious for, number one, again, I keep talking about the dollar. The dollar, daily rejection from EMA 12, bear flag confirmed to fresh lows. So dollar bears look great. But look at the weekly. And again, it's the monthly that I keep talking about. So we know a monthly higher low is the most likely scenario. We know a monthly bounce is going to be inevitable. We're going to then be watching for a monthly lower high. I can't be full steam ahead for the bulls in the market until the dollar is confirming a monthly downtrend to show us a long-term trend shift, because I've seen far too many charts that look just like this that end up doing something like that. So what are we looking for? Well, at this point, we're watching for weekly oversold, and let's look historically. I like historical RSI levels when we have nice data to be going off of. And we can look back and say, all right, we're going back to, and we can go back as far as we want, but let's just go back 18 years. And we could say that over the last 18 years, we've seen well, there's a lot. Okay, we're gonna zoom in a little bit. We don't want that many years. So we're going the last 13 years. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times where the RSI on the weekly has bottomed between 27 and 33, 7 times. Right now, the weekly RSI is 33. What does that mean? That means we're entering an historical bounce zone. Can we drop down to 27? Yes. Can we go lower than 27? Yes. But this is the time where we start looking historically and say, we have 7 examples in the last, I forget how many years I said, 15, 13 years. 7 examples in the last 13 years. So is now a time to be looking short on the dollar? No, probably not. Doesn't mean we have to bottom right now, but we're getting a bit extended to the downside. So if the dollar bounces from the weekly historical oversold RSI zone, that would mean weekly consolidation likely happening in the markets. And one other thing that I'm watching for, even if ES does break, even if SPY and futures do break our right neckline, let's go to the monthly. And I've mentioned this in the past, but if we fail to break the high of the summer, it's possible we go from a 2-week inverse head and shoulders, confirm it bullish, but then zoom out and look for a monthly inverse head and shoulders. And that would potentially align with a monthly pullback while the dollar sees a monthly bounce. And then if the dollar confirms a monthly downtrend and the broader market confirms a monthly uptrend, then we have all time frames aligning in the same direction with trends. We have a monthly, weekly, daily uptrend at that point. Right now, we're in a monthly downtrend still. And if we don't break the high of August, it's a monthly lower high. It's a great 4-month bounce, but it's a monthly lower high. So that's my bear glasses narrative to keep me from getting overly excited. And that's what has me staying a decent chunk of cash in my IRA to look to buy when the dollar gets that monthly bounce. So we're going to watch the daily uptrend on the NASDAQ and SPY, QQQ and SPY as our guide from here. Hourly uptrend, daily uptrend. And you look at QQQ after hours, we're back at the highs because the meta bulls had a huge response to their earnings and to share buybacks, $40 billion. So Meta has joined the 100% club. So Meta has bounced from the fear lows over 100% now after hours. And it's joining BABA, which already bounced over 100%, and Netflix bounced over 100%. NVDA is on the verge of bouncing 100%, and Tesla is a bit further back. We would need 208 for a 100% bounce. One reason that I will always favor playing bullish over bearish in markets, number one, because of the history of markets going up. But number two, right now Meta is trading up here after hours. This move on Meta is worth more than this move on Meta for the bears. How is that possible? Because you cannot make more than 100% as a bear shorting common shares. It's your cap. So we dropped 77% over many months. How many months is that? Many. 14 months. Now we have exceeded that in 4 months. So 4 months, well, I guess today is going to be no, that's the monthly candle. 4 months, and we're up now 100%. So 77% down in 14 months, 100% in 4 months. Bulls in the last 4 months made more than a bear that shorted the all-time high and sold at the absolute bottom. So again, that just for me enforces there is more opportunity in markets as bulls. SMH, big time bull move up. Daily EMA 12 continues to hold. Weekly follow through on the inverse head and shoulders and breaking the August high. So we have broken both neckline levels. The semiconductors are leading the way up. Semiconductors today hit the highest price that we've seen in 9 months. NVDA leading the charge. AMD had a bullish earnings reaction. So semiconductors were lead bulls from the get-go because of that. Daily bull flag confirmed here. NVDA also breaking both neckline levels. Again, up 95% plus, not 100% from the fear lows. Again, 4-month time frame. What's the most likely scenario here? For me, it's a 4-month lower high. If you see that kind of breakout and you give that much retracement back, you scout an equilibrium. I believe that NVDA is more likely than not to tighten up within this 4-month range for the next year plus. And we'll be talking about this pattern towards the end of mid-2024. Maybe we'll be talking about this pattern. We'll see. But again, keeping an eye on the bigger picture to help me remember that. And we also will need to confirm a monthly uptrend. We're in a monthly stair-step pattern. So if we're going to see that 4-month bounce follow through, we will have to confirm the higher low and higher high. Tesla, daily bull flag confirmed. Back to the bounce high here. Weekly stair-step. Resistance, anything under 199, let's just call it 200. Anything under 200 is a weekly lower high. If we can't break 200, we're going to be watching Tesla to try and shape up a weekly inverse head and shoulders. But we've got the hourly uptrend, the daily uptrend, and bulls in complete control. It's just a question of how long can they keep these short-term uptrends before we look for weekly consolidation. I will be keeping an eye out for weekly consolidation on names like Tesla, but more so from a hedging, my longs standpoint versus trying to be an aggressive bear. I am going to be watching when things do turn, when the dollar does get a bounce going, when we do see significant consolidation in the market next. Netflix is my pick, and I've mentioned why. Netflix had bullish news today about people signing up for their ad plans or whatever. So Netflix divided by QQQ set a daily high or low. Just barely, hardly. Again, I'm just waiting. I'm patiently stalking this. What else are we looking at? XLF. XLF was a lead bear today, just weaker. And it was a lead bull yesterday, so taking a timeout, letting QQQ bulls do their thing. So we did get to the higher high, 36.88. Next resistance, 37.68. So no red flags. It was just a little bit of rotation. XLF bulls stepped back. QQQ bulls took charge. XLV broke the daily lower highs for the first time in over a month. And again, we're watching for a monthly higher low to try and form. But we'll need to confirm a daily uptrend to the bulls for a notable momentum shift. We still have this downtrend resistance line. And again, we did break my downtrending support line, but the characteristics of a falling wedge still apply. IWM, breakout follow through, so stronger than XLF today, which shows me that growth names had a good day. ARKK, big move off the lows. Not that big though, still not 50%. PLTR was another growth name. Trying to recover. They still got a lot of work to do. But IWM a lead bull today. Daily uptrend, hourly uptrend are our guides. 200, next resistance. Weekly time frame, equilibrium bull break. Biotech sector, still not convincing. Again, there's still this potential rising wedge type of resistance. This is the kind of day where bulls want to prove it and follow through. And yes, we broke the double top at $90, but we didn't close above it. So the biotech sector, still a daily uptrend, still bullish, but not ideal. And we got 86.54 as our daily higher low support. Solar sector, trying to see the weekly bull break as well. Bull flag on the weekly, need to break 83.68 and 84.18. Worth watching as a potential laggard sector. Uranium CCJ has been putting on a show. And if you've been watching the weekly videos with Red Devil and Joey on our channel here, you know that next week is big. There's a House committee meeting or something along those lines where there's a potential to ban Russia uranium, which would send this sector higher with a bullish catalyst. Daily stair-step pattern on CCJ and heading towards our monthly resistance of 31.17. Other names, we had some spikes in the cannabis world. MSOS the last 2 days, there's these little news blips of, senators meeting regarding potential cannabis legislation. Still just a dangling carrot, still nothing happening. But this is the laggard sector, so if we're going to remain bullish in the broader market, this sector has participated the least out of any sector that there is. And you look around and we're starting to see names like, we know the AI sector has been strong. AI has been continuing its run. Daily stair-step pattern here. I traded AI in both directions today. It had a nice bearish play here for this lower high. But aside from AI, esports today were going off. MSGM, look at this move. Monday we were trading between $2.50 and $3, and today we hit 49, and pre-market we hit 80. So Wall Street bets GameStop vibes here. You look at this chart, and it's absolute trash. We know it's full of dilution, convertible debt, probably reverse splits. But you see that move, VS, another one, gap up for profit taking, but the sector MAGM, was that the other one? No. EBET. Again, profit taking across the board, but these big moves on sectors that are absolutely smashed and at the lows. So just keeping an eye on cannabis to see if it's going to get any kind of little catalyst for some attention now that fear is being alleviated from the market, at least for now. These are just little niche sectors that have high volatility. The crypto stocks, Riot, traded that on the afternoon move as we broke 684 resistance. Nice grind of the daily EMA 12, inside bar bull break, and back to the bounce high. Again, we haven't confirmed the weekly trend change. This is another one that's gone up over 100%. Again, if you short here, it's wild to look at. If you short there and you sell the bottom, you made less than this 5-week move. It's wild. All right, what else we got? Metals. So daily higher low on gold, keeping that move going. Gold will not top out until the dollar bottoms. So weekly bull flag very quickly confirmed on gold. Did I stop out of silver? Not yet. I'm on the verge of stopping out of a silver short. Honestly, it's just been stagnant money. Entered it sometime back around here. And it's just been up a little, down a little. So I'm just letting it ride. I'll either stop out or not. It's not going to be significant either way. Miners, daily higher low set. Trying to head back to the high of 33.34 for GDX. We've got oil weak on the inventory report. And so that led to XLE weakness, one of the weakest sectors out there today with the market so strong. And a double top at the all-time high into weekly consolidation. So keeping an eye out. Definitely a bit rising wedgy here. I'd be watching this. Volatility is going to be coming here for sure. We'll keep an eye on the energy sector. Natural gas trying to get a bounce going, but failing to do much. I did grab a position on UNG right as the bell rang because I recognized that natural gas was trying to confirm a 15-minute uptrend, and it was an hourly waterfall stair-step drop that was breaking bull. And I was going to grab it on the futures, but I tried to open my futures platform. TOS was updating, and so I just had to grab after hours. But I've got until 8 p.m. before I have to make a decision. And at the moment, it's a bull break with no follow-through, so I'm probably going to ditch it. But starting to get close to having all of the time frames align oversold, which we call a super stack. Weekly's oversold, daily's real beat up. It was the 4-hour that I was waiting on today, and we finally got oversold there. The hourly was crushed, but all these time frames were beat up, which is when I start to get interested in weakness. But I'm probably going to bail. Unless if we get a new higher high before 8 p.m., may convince me to hold on to it. But otherwise, just have a fresh, clean slate. In other news, just looked at my January statement, and I made more dividends and interest income than I've ever made in my life. So shout out to Red Devil and the other older generation of members that are letting us young bucks know how to play the game in different ways. And I put out some content about that, whether it was I bonds or 4-week treasury bond or treasury bills. Put out some stuff about that on Instagram and other little short videos. But that's nice, free money. It's risk-free money. And trying to get to a point where I can have risk-free money cover my entire year of living expenses. It's going to take a little bit to get there, and it's going to be dependent on what the rates are. But 4-week treasury bills, 4.5% right now, which is a pretty solid yield. And you can grab as much of that as you want. So, lots going on. Congrats, bulls. Put your bear glasses on just to ensure that you don't get sucked into the FOMO. And we know this move is straight up on the weekly, stair-step weekly over the last 6 weeks. So, again, we'll get to a point eventually in the near term where we'll say, okay, shorts are getting squeezed out. That's happening, today and over the last couple of weeks. But the question then becomes, who's left to buy and who's left to cover their shorts? And we could get to that point sometime in the near term, in the next couple of weeks. So, again, I'm bullish until the bears give me a reason to not be bullish, but I'm keeping these other bigger picture scenarios in the back of my head just to ensure that I'm watching for everything, which is exactly what I did in the opposite direction. We were all bearish. The bulls were not showing us anything, but we were watching for this potential bullish reversal pattern. Say, all right, this could potentially shape up. So I was bearish, but I was putting my bull glasses on to see a scenario where things could shift. So doing the opposite. Appreciate you watching. Do good things. Have a great Wednesday night. Adventure time. So this is in Vegas, and we are hitting the road. My buddy and I both going back to the East Coast. I was going to Florida. He was going to North Carolina. So we went probably half the way together and then went our separate ways, and we certainly loaded up on the good stuff. I was beer deficient on my road trip, and my previous road trip where I went with my buddies spoiled me because I was drinking the crap water beer, high school, college, and then out of college, he introduced me to good beer. And once you go good beer and you enjoy it, you cannot go back. So we loaded up some nice hemp ale. If you try the Hemperor by New Belgium Brewing, they make that here in town. That's the best hemp beer I've ever had. And if you like the taste of ganja, you're going to like that beer. Old Rasputin is also a favorite of mine. So we adventured on through Zion. And this was my second. I think I've been to Zion 3 times now. But my buddy grew up as a hunter, and he was blown away by how close the deer get because they're just used to being around people and they are protected. So it was freezing, but it was beautiful as always. I had never been to Zion in the winter, so a little bit of a different landscape, but certainly still epic as always. And we ended up camping overnight, and the lows were 12 degrees. And in Celsius, that is, I think, a -11. I've never camped that cold before. It was a very interesting experience. You can see the running water is freezing here, but it was wild. I don't think I'll ever do that again. But, you know, wearing 8 different clothes and having 4 layers of sleeping bags and blankets, and we made it. Nice big old rocks. We went with the little dog, Nico, and we originally got him when I was in college with my buddy and found him on the side of the road, but got him mid-shake there. Interesting face. But he was fun to come and play with and have on the adventure in the national park. So we drove from Zion across through Texas. It actually snowed in Texas as well, which was certainly not expected. And got some Texas state parks coming up and then heading back to Florida before going to Costa Rica after that. So I guess we'll go through Costa Rica. I've certainly done that before, but we'll go through again and finish up as we head into the current 2019 spring. So again, this road trip was 6 years ago. Every video I get messages from people saying, wow, how are you getting internet while you're streaming? And, oh, you should come say hello in South Utah. I'm over in blah, blah, blah. This is all a long time ago, but we'll do some more current stuff when the gardens get going. I'll do some garden progress, and I think I'm going to buy a house turn into a little farm soon. Been scouting for a long time, just found a potential prospect. So we'll see. Do good things again. See you soon.